Good YouTube, Quinn Wade coming to you with that instant playoff basketball analysis on Analysis Playground on YouTube exclusively on there forever. And we're gonna talk about the Spurs, the second team to get to the next round in the Western Conference. We knew that they was gonna be a tough out, regardless of who they face throughout the playoffs. But we knew that the Blazers wasn't good enough to beat them, especially when they won without Wemby and then got Wemby back earlier than they probably thought that they would. He dominated in this one, but everybody chipped in as usual, and they beat them 114 to 95. Spurs won the first quarter 36 to 24, second quarter 29 to 21, third quarter 21 to 20, and then they lost the fourth quarter to Portland 30 to 28. But by then, the game was already out of reach. Tamani Kamara, you wanted more from him, honestly. 33 minutes for him, 7 points. He went 2 of 10 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 8 rebounds, and ended up being the most on the team. He also had 2 assists, 1 turnover, 3 offensive rebounds out of the 8 total. 2 personal fouls and was a minus 22 and plus minus. He had good looks throughout the entire game. He just didn't get it to go down, no matter if it was a 2 or a 3. And it hurts when you know that you had good looks. It hurts when you had good opportunities. And you know your team is dependent on you, especially because the lead started to get out of hand early and you wasn't really helping by missing shots. But the games can go that way. Denny, I feel like he played a good game, but the free throws was a problem. He went 7 of 11 from the free throw line, but some they needed that to go and some of them threes to go. Finished 1 of 6 from 3, 7 of 15 from the field. He did get 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 turnovers, and a block. 1 offensive rebound, 4 personal fouls, and was a minus 20 and plus minus. He didn't have another big game in this series, but he played a solid series, but it wasn't enough. He needed to play at a dominant level to give this team a chance, especially in this one, and it just never happened. And then Donovan Clingan was just launching threes. The Spurs that you can have it. He did go 2 of 7 though, but he finished 4 of 11 from the field, and he keep getting blocked by smaller guards. And he did that throughout the entire series, even in the play-in. And for you to be that strong and that big to get blocked a couple times, and even in the elimination game, is like I don't even know what to tell the guy. But it happened again in this one. He had 5 rebounds. He did get 6 assists, which came with how they was running their offense, and he did a good job of delivering those passes, and they did a good job of making those buckets when they did get it. But he also had 1 turnover, 3 offensive rebounds, 3 personal fouls, and was a minus 9 and plus minus. Drew Holiday played 40 minutes. That was the most on the team. He only had 8 points, though. They needed him to have a way better game. He took a good amount of shots, but if you could have gave me half, I would have been happy. But he only went 3 of 14 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3. We know his jump shot can come and go. Tonight it just wasn't hitting. He went 1 of 1 from the free throw line. He had 6 boards and 7 assists. 7 assists did lead the team though, so he did something at a high level. And on top of that, he only had 2 turnovers, and the Spurs was really staying on top of things defensively a lot of times and reaching and also trying to grab the ball if you passed it. So he did a good job of delivering the ball. 1 offensive rebound, 3 personal fouls, and was a minus 22 and plus minus. Scoop, he was silent in this one, 17 minutes, which wasn't enough. He had 5 points. He went 2 of 6 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. But, you know, we need double figures or more. He couldn't provide that in this one. He did have 2 rebounds and a turnover, 1 offensive rebound, 2 personal fouls, and was a minus 19 and plus minus. Jeremy Grant, he ended up playing 17 minutes. He had 12 points. It ended up being the most off the bench. But he went 2 of 6 from the field and 1 of 2 from 3, which wasn't the worst thing ever, but it was mainly because he went 7 of 8 from the free throw line. So he kept attacking, kept driving, kept putting pressure on the rim and making them just forcing them to make decisions defensively. He's a long, tall, athletic guy, so it's hard to stay in front of him. It's hard to guard him, especially because he actually has a perimeter shot, which wasn't really working too much in this series, but you have to live with it. He's one of your better players. He had 1 rebound, 1 assist, no turnovers, and 2 steals. He also had 3 personal fouls and was a plus 3 and plus minus. Chris Murray played a minute. He only got a personal fouls. He had no turnovers, and he was a 0 and plus minus. Robert Williams did a good job of making a 3. He fell in love with it a little bit because they was giving it to him, but got to give up something defensively. But he finished 5 of 10 from the field, which is still a good night for him. And then he had 7 rebounds, let the bench off led the rebounds off the bench again. He had 1 assist, no turnovers, and a steal. 3 offensive rebounds, 2 personal fouls, and was a -4. And plus minus. Hanson got on the court, played 1 minute. He missed 2 wide open threes. They was letting him take them. He couldn't make them anyway. He had no turnovers, no personal foul, was a 0 and plus minus. Thibault came in, but he went 1 of 6 from the field and 0 of 5 from three. He gave you 2 points, and that's all he was able to provide when it comes to offensive scoring. He did get 1 rebound, 2 assists, no turnovers, 2 steals, and a block. So the defense was there, and that's never really a problem, especially because he did that with only getting 1 personal foul in those 15 minutes that he played. But he also was a -5, though, and plus minus. He took the wide open threes. It wasn't dropping for him in this one. I mean, there's a couple guys that if they make a couple threes, this is a totally different game, but it just didn't happen. Vit 13 minutes, 2 points. He went 1 of 3 from the field. His misses was going 0 of 2 from three as well. That's not a surprise with this team tonight. 1 rebound, 2 assists though. No turnovers, 3 personal fouls, and a +1 and plus minus. Blake Wesley, 1 minute. He went scoreless. He had no turnovers. He had no personal fouls and was a 0 and plus minus. Shaden Sharp, 6 minutes. He ended up having 5 points. He went 2 of 5 from the field, 1 of 2 from three. He was making shots. Didn't take a lot of them, though, but he tried to come through for him when he could. He had no turnovers, no personal foul, was a -7 and plus minus. And then City gave you 11. He did make threes. He went 2 of 3 from the three-point line. He did miss a 2, but he finished 4 of 6 from the field, which is good. And he made his only free throw after getting whacked in the head by Victor, who was trying to block a shot. But he also gave you 4 rebounds, no turnovers, and 3 steals. Guy liked the fact that he was competitive even though they was down bad. 2 offensive rebounds, 4 personal fouls, and a +9 in plus minus. And then you look at the San Antonio Spurs. This just was a great performance as a team. I mean, everybody in the starting lineup got an assist or more. They all scored in double figures. They all helped out on the boards. But Julian Champagnie was just a flamethrower. 30 minutes, 19 points. He went 5 of 7 from three. For some reason, they kept leading one of their best three-point shooters open. He was knocking them down all night. And then he still finished 6 of 9 from the field. He did have 7 rebounds, 3 assists, no turnovers, 2 personal fouls, and was on +10 and plus minus. Victor Wembanyama, 34 minutes. He had 17 points. He had shot 5 of 7 from the field, 1 of 2 from three, and 6 of 6 from the free throw line. He was letting his teammates do their thing. He was like, I'm going to stay out the way. I'm going to try to knock down some shots if y'all give me the ball. I trust that y'all can make shots. I'm trusting that y'all can make decisions. And it ended up working out fairly well for him. And these are the type of games that he's going to have, where we need you to be on top of it on the glass and protecting the rim. And we'll take care of the perimeter and the interior scoring. We might even find you for some easy open looks, even if it's on the perimeter or even in the paint or near it. But 14 boards, 17 points, 3 assists, 1 turnover. He did have 6 blocks, and it was just tough. You knew he was around you. You still wanted to try him, and he said that's not going to happen. And it worked all night. 3 personal fouls, a +20 and plus minus. De'Aaron Fox closed it for him, double figures and scoring in the fourth quarter. Carried them when they needed them to make shots, whether that was getting to the paint, hitting shots off the dribble. 34 minutes, 21 points. That was game high for the Spurs. He had shot 8 of 14 also from the field, 2 of 5 from three, and 3 of 4 from the free throw line. He had 3 rebounds, but the other thing that was good, he had so much attention, and they even started trapping him and double teaming him. But he ended up still giving them 9 assists, and that's one thing you have to like about Fox. He can give you the mid-range, the interior game, even the shot from three, but he's just so hard to stay in front of, and he can break down the defense, and he's just a good decision maker on top of everything else. He did have 2 turnovers, though, 1 steal and 4 personal fouls, was a +26 and plus minus. Devin Vassell played 34 minutes. He had 10 points. He went 4 of 11 from the field, 0 of 4 from three, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. He missed all his wide open threes, but you're just happy that he was able to score a couple shots when they needed them. He had 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 turnover still in the block, and he had 2 personal fouls and was a +22 and plus minus. Stephon Castle did foul out in this one. He was being physical. He was trying to have an edge to him in this one, and it worked to the advantage of the Spurs a lot. I mean, to the Blazers a lot. But he also gave you 7 turnovers. That was just unlike him. with some of the things he was trying to do and he was going for. And the Blazers didn't complain because they was able to get the ball in there. They was able to get back in it a little bit towards the end. But 15 points, he went 6 of 11 from the field, 2 of 6 from three, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. I didn't really have a problem with his shot selection either, though. And then he still gave you 5 assists and 3 boards. So he tried to do some things. Didn't work all the time. Got to give credit to the Blazers for being ready and taking chances on what they can do to him defensively, and it worked out for him a little bit in this one as well. One offensive rebound to plus 12 and plus minus. Harrison Barnes, 13 minutes, 3 points. He ended up going 1 or 2 from the free throw line, 0 or 2 from 3. His only make from the field was a 2-pointer. That was more like a floater. He had 1 rebound, no turnovers, 1 offensive rebound, which was his only one, and the first foul was a 0 and plus minus. Kelly Olynyk went 0-2 from the free throw line in his 1 minute, so he finished scoreless. He had no turnovers, no personal foul, was a 0 and plus minus. Lindy Waters, 1 minute, he missed his only shot, which was a 3-pointer. Still gave you a board, no turnovers, no personal foul, was a 0 and plus minus. Keldon Johnson, 18 minutes. He ended up having 7 points. He went 3 of 8 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Missed some good looks. And, of course, you want them free throws to go down, but he couldn't get it to go. Still had a good night because he gave you 5 boards and an assist. He also had 2 turnovers, 2 offensive rebounds, 1 personal foul, was a plus 2 and plus minus. Carter Bryant played 1 minute. He went scoreless, no turnovers, no personal fouls, 0 and plus minus. Bismack Biyombo, 1 minute. He went scoreless, but he gave you a board, no turnovers, no rebound, no turnovers, no. It was a 0 when it came to personal fouls, and was a 0 and plus minus. And then Luke Cornett, big net, 13 minutes, 5 points. He went 2 of 2 from the field, 1 of 1 from the free throw line. Anytime he can score, you're happy with that. And he also was able to get the rebounds when he was out there, which was 3. He also set his guys up for good looks and finished with 3 assists. Had no turnovers in this one, but he did have 3 personal fouls. That was probably the worst thing he did. But it happens when you're a rim protecting big that's a little slower than most. And he had 1 offensive board out of the 3, and he finished as a -1 and plus minus. Jordan McLaughlin, 1 minute, he didn't do anything, but he also didn't commit no turnovers or no personal fouls. It was a 0 and plus minus. And then Dylan Harper, 26 minutes. That was the most off the bench. He had 17 points, went 6 of 9 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3, 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Really good scoring from him. He was able to drive. He was able to make the perimeter shots. He was able to make his throws and get the contact. A big game. They needed somebody to give them that off the bench. Keldon didn't give it to him tonight, but Harper was able to do it. And obviously the foul trouble for Castle allowed him to step up and have some big moments. He's a rookie, but he didn't play like it. And you can say that about how the season ended for him in general. He just stepped up a lot when they called his number. And that's all you can really ask for a player to do in the league. 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover. He also got 3 steals. That was game high for the Spurs. And he also had 2 offensive rebounds, 2 personal fouls, and was a +4 and plus minus. 75 field goals by the Spurs. They shot 55%, which is really good. While the Blazers took way more shots. They took 94 of them, but only made 35%. That should be winning numbers. But since they couldn't make their shots from the field, whether that was in the paint, whether that was a floater or a mid-range, or even a 3, they couldn't make anything. 47 threes is what they took. They shot 23%. That's just terrible. But they did go to the free throw line 23 times and made 78% of them. While the Spurs shot 33s, which was 17 less than the Blazers, they still made 40% of them. 29 free throws, which was 6 more than the Blazers. They shot 69%. 42 rebounds by the Spurs, 38 by the Blazers. 27 assists by the Spurs, 24 by the Blazers. 14 turnovers by the Spurs, 9 by the Blazers. 5 steals from the Spurs, 8 for the Blazers. 8 blocks for the Spurs, 2 for the Blazers. 7 offensive rebounds for the Spurs, 14 for the Blazers. 35 defensive rebounds for the Spurs, 24 for the Blazers. And 24 personal fouls by the Spurs, 28 for the Blazers. This is a dominant effort by the Spurs. Obviously, you got to give credit to the Blazers for fighting a little bit in the end. You didn't want to get embarrassed. You didn't want this team to feel like they way better than you and superior than you. Although it felt like that throughout this game, I like the fact that they gave themselves a chance, try to make that final run to make things interesting and possibly even win it. But it just didn't happen because the Spurs kept executing well on offense. Fox ended up doing whatever he wanted to do on a mismatch because he was faster and quicker than the players that was guarding him, and he just had a field day. And then you had Victor defending that paint, and you had other guys on the perimeter making things difficult. And like I said, the only problem they really had in the fourth was Stephon Castle just being questionable defensively and just doing things that just didn't really make sense too much. But since they had so many guards anyway, they can just throw another one like Dylan Harper out there and still be able to do some of the same things offensively, especially. So it didn't matter too much. But when you have a deep roster, you have guys that want to win and that's showing you that they all in, whether it's playing a lot of minutes or not. They understand their role. They understand what they're out there to do. They understand what they're out there to accomplish. Got to give credit to Mitch. He understood what he needed to do as a coach, how to hold his team accountable, and how to figure out whatever they needed to figure out with the lineups that was thrown out there by Tiago Splitter. And even when things got a little bit troubling, he didn't panic. He didn't want them to panic. And he just made sure the rotation was right, the lineups made sense, and they was moving the ball and playing good ball instead of just trying to go ISO all the time and just try to get those type of opportunities. And then you got to give him credit for saying, Fox, take us home. We traded for you. We feel like you'll be a big part of this team. You wanted to leave. We thought you'll be a good piece for us. And they showed a lot of trust in him this entire series. He had some ups, he had some downs, but he stepped up when they needed him in this game. And it's kind of like avenging what you did in the other game that they lost. We like, oh, Fox, he needed to do a little bit more. They would have won, but he did that in this one. So it X's it out, especially because this was a closeout game. Their first closeout game as a team, as a unit. And they did it impressively, and they did a good job, and they're going to get a little bit of rest probably and be ready to tackle on the next adventure in their story. I feel like they should be good. It's going to be tough to beat this team 4 times. I think we all are seeing that now, and that's the most respect I can give them. This team is going to be one of the toughest teams to beat in the playoffs. Somebody got to beat them, or they just going to win it all. That's just how it is. But other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share. Hit that notification bell to get that analysis when it first come out. Y'all stay blessed up. Y'all stay good. Peace. And I'll see y'all later today, hopefully with more analysis.